Should I be like Claire and just order an insanely unnecessary amount of the food and only end up using like 2 or 3 of them? Can I have 3 sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, please?
Okay.
That's it.
Alright, total is 12.85 for one of these.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
12? McDonald's is out here hosing people. Alright.
Chicken sandwich, crispy chicken.
Hey, how you doing? Do you mind parking in number 1? The breakfast sandwiches are done.
No problem.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. Thought this was fast food. You know who said that first? Epic Meal Time when they ordered 28 Big Macs for their fast food lasagna. The Eagle has landed. It just took forever and I turned the video off, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the McGriddle. If you are unfamiliar, 2 pancake patties, sausage, egg, and cheese. It's just the jewel on the fast food breakfast. The thing that makes these so special are the little beads of warm maple syrup in the pancake layers. It's just so good. Also, if you're wondering how I'm driving while reviewing this, I got a self-driving car. You should be on my Instagram and have already known that. Anyways, I was not completely satisfied with Alex's pancake layers. They seemed a bit too thick, so we'll make a few adjustments. But overall, it shouldn't be too hard. If you would like to make Alex's version of the fast food perfection known as the McGriddle, you're gonna need to grab yourself some flour and brown sugar, buttermilk and kosher salt, baking soda, baking powder, sugar, ground pork, sage, pure maple syrup, garlic powder, crushed red pepper flakes, pepper, thyme, and eggs. Now I'm gonna start off with the syrup. We need to convert this to a hard crack candy. She doesn't really say what temperature she cooks this to though, so I'm a little bit worried. I'm just gonna use the limited candy knowledge I have and try to heat this up to about 300 degrees, which I believe is right in the middle of the hard crack stage. Eventually it just turned to sand. I guess 300 degrees was just too high. I cooked out all of the liquid and we were left with this crumbly mess. Luckily though, we were able to use a lifeline and ask Alex which temperature she cooked her syrup to, and she said 260, so that's what we're gonna go for on this second attempt. Let's pray it turns out, because this is the end of the maple syrup jar I bought for $7. I stirred this non-stop. I heated it gradually over very low heat, and no. I pulled this off at 250 degrees. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but I just went through that whole bottle of syrup, so we're just gonna move on to something else for now. We're gonna move on to my second favorite component of this entire thing, which is the sausage patty. Again, Alex doesn't really say exact measurements of the ingredients she uses, so I just looked up a very standard breakfast sausage recipe that has similar ingredients. If you want to see the recipe I used and the measurements, I'm going to leave it down in the description. I did use fresh sage in this while using dried thyme leaves, only because I feel like that's more commonly used, more traditional, I don't know. Now, knowing how ground meat of any kind really reacts when it hits heat, I made these super thin. I made them a lot bigger than the 3-inch diameter that we're going to use for the ring molds later, because I know these are going to shrink and thicken up quite a bit. So 2 at a time, I cooked off my patties on my cast iron skillet with a little bit of olive oil. Give it about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. I was getting decent color on these. I wasn't super ecstatic, but I didn't want to overcook them and dry them out. Either way, they should taste amazing, so let's move on to the eggs. I combined 4 eggs, a little bit of heavy cream, and then what I wanted to be a touch of salt. That was way too much. This is gonna be a salty egg. My idea for this part, in an effort to replicate McDonald's version as closely as possible, is to make like an egg crepe, almost. I want this to be super thin so I can fold it up and get 4 nice thin layers of egg, just like the traditional McGriddle. Now this first one came out okay after I cut it into a square. I do think I could do one better, so I whipped up another batch and tried again. And I was really happy with the way this one came out. It was a little bit thicker, the eggs weren't as colored, so it should be good. And much like trying to avoid Jake and Logan Paul drama on YouTube, we inevitably have to deal with it again, the pancakes. I found another very standard buttermilk pancake recipe. I'm gonna leave this one down in the description as well. You basically combine all your dry ingredients together and then make a well in the middle, mix your wet ingredients, but don't overbeat it because you want this to be fluffy. Finally, in my 3-inch ring mold and on the same nonstick pan I cooked the eggs, I loaded everything up with some nonstick spray. Started by trying to make a backwards D, which didn't come out the best, but we're gonna have several cracks at this. I did a very thin layer of the pancake on top of that, and then I sprinkled some of my crumbly syrup bits in between 2 layers. I honestly think this has a shot at melting down again and creating those little pockets of like syrupy sweetness. I guess we will see though. I was able to knock out a few of these pancake buns, all at varying degrees of success, but I am going to try to construct the perfect sandwich with the best looking component of each thing we've made so far. 1 pancake on the bottom and a piece of American cheese. Yes, I'm using this overprocessed stuff. If it tastes anywhere near as good as McDonald's, I will be ecstatic, so let's give this a try. Alright, so just as a refresher, this is just an excuse for me to eat as many of these as possible. Oh my god. It's just such a perfect combination of flavors and layers and like probably fat and salt because it's McDonald's. And here is my version. Might have stole the packaging. I'm not gonna lie to you. That doesn't look too bad though. We got that perfect D for do not eat because this will make you 300 pounds. It's pretty good. I would say the egg and the pancakes are just about on par or maybe even a little bit better with the eggs. The sausage is like severely lacking though. It's almost as if I went too heavy on the spices. You're getting like too much thyme and sage and like fancy ingredients that I don't think McDonald's is using. It's definitely not bad. I'm probably gonna eat this whole thing. But if you do make this, just cut all those spices in half probably. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, slap a like on this one. I do apologize for this video being a day late. I had a very long and hectic week, but we'll be back on track next week. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you do not already. Let me know what recipe you want to see next week down in the comments. Other than that, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you right back here next time. Peace.
With the M without the AD. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.